Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for this special pop-up chat with Jordan from Real Beauty Bosses. As you know, if you followed me for a while, I have been in the industry for 33 years. I owned my very successful hair color specialty salon for 30 of those years. And I am always on the lookout for anything new and exciting in regards to our business of beauty, whether it be marketing, a new color line, a new technique, something fun and different, because as you know, you can easily get in a funk and every day can start to be the same. So I guess maybe about going on a year ago, right when I was starting this online business, I spent and continue to spend way too much time on social media. And these two people kept popping up, Jordan and Katie. Jordan and Katie. It looks like he's coming in now. So I saw what they were doing, and they were providing everything for our industry that I was not. So I was staying in my lane, sticking to hair color and education for hair color, marketing for hair color. Everything in my world was hair color specific. And I started to notice that Jordan was popping up everywhere, doing lives, talking about the marketing and how to get clients in your chair. So I reached out to him and said, imagine if people could have you helping them with getting new clients in their chair, and then me helping them get their color to a whole other level and be able to charge more and earn a better living. So for the first time ever, we are doing a special collaboration, and we're chatting today to tell you about this special collaboration and to invite you to a special free masterclass. So I'm going to bring Jordan on to hello.
What's going on? How are you?
Now we have sound. How are you?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Perfect. What's going on,
Let me
Elaine?
change your little, see if I can change your logo, your expert color solutions right now. We don't want that.
Nice. I see we'll be down there. How's everybody doing? I was just inviting some of our following in there as well, so we can get this rocking and rolling. But I see there's quite a few people commenting. Christina's here, Charlotte's here, Hope's here, Jennifer's here, Crystal's here, Cynthia's here. What's going on? Expert color solutions followers. You have a name for your people?
Coffee chatters. We do a coffee chat, and that's where most people see me on Wednesdays. So I have had the pleasure of being on your group, but you have not been on mine. So welcome to my world, and it's exciting to see you. You are a busy man. I'm a busy woman. We're both insane. So we're always throwing dates at each other and links and this and that and everything. I was doing the lead page like 2 minutes ago, and you're inviting people 2 minutes ago. So I was just giving a little bit of a preview to everyone of how excited I am that between you and I, we can create the most badass rock star hairstylist, because in my world, I can teach someone how to color hair, but until they have clients in their chair, it's not going to do them very much good. So I'm excited for us to come together and just offer everything that anyone could possibly need. And as you know, from doing this for the amount of time you have, both of us can offer 100% of everything and put all the breadcrumbs down Hansel and Gretel style. But if people don't do the work and they don't take the advice, then it's not going to do them any good. So
100%. Talk about that all the time, but I'm super happy to be here, and I'm super happy to meet some new faces. I hope everyone's doing great, and I hope everyone's ready to build a 6-figure business in 2020. That's our big goal. We want to take 100 people there in the next year, so we're gonna do it together, huh, Elaine? Take 100
yes. People. I'm so excited. And it's so possible. People look at that hairy, audacious goal and they give up before they even start.
Yeah.
But when you back it up and break it down, it really is doable. It's just setting those boundaries, charging your worth, not giving away services, and all the usual suspect things that we do to sabotage ourselves. So we're getting to people just in time in the beginning of the year. 100%. Set up those good habits.
Absolutely. I'm super excited too, because now's like honestly the best time to start like pushing and grinding and getting yourself ready, because like if you try to get started like a week, 2 weeks, a month into January, like it's already too late. Everyone else is already like acting on stuff too. So why not design your plan now, keep getting, yourself out there right now up until Christmas, so that you have, some clientele coming in and you're already setting yourself up for success throughout January, February, March, April, the whole year, right? I think the biggest thing in the industry is everyone's like looking for the right time to get started with all this stuff and get started with client attraction. And the right time is just right now. Like, just get started. Like, just get after it, get out there, get your name out there, go meet some people, get yourself known, right?
So to your point, I think a lot of people, there's more than two different, there's several different approaches. Some people come out of the gate so strong. It's like the horse races. They're like chomping to get going, and they're flat out in January, and then they get busy. They start getting some traction, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, now I'm busy, I stop. So that's, to me, what ends up happening, that you have all these ebbs and flows. And I was guilty of it with my own business. We would go flat out and generate so much business that we would have people, pissed off that they couldn't get in. Why would you advertise and then you can't give me an appointment? Yada, yada. Well, that was a great problem to have, but it's still a problem. So stretching it, being so strategic and having an actual calendar for the year was something that it took me 30 years to learn. Have like a promotional calendar. It pains me, and I see it every single day. Cancellation, last minute appointment, come see me. And it's like, just always be 4 weeks ahead, 5 weeks ahead. I mean, from advertising, if you want to do any kind of magazine work, or if you launch a book or any kind of product, that's being done 6 months in advance. Everybody thinks it just popped up that day, but it's the lead time, in fashion right now, they're looking into, winter 2022. Like, it's so much further ahead. And I think in the hair world, everybody plays panic and catch up for the most part.
It's kind of interesting. Like, a lot of the time when you ask people like what their numbers are and where they're at right now, so we can even figure out, what it takes to get to where we want to go. Like, I hear a lot of people, especially in this industry, in the hair industry, everyone's looking at like what they're making per day or per week. Whereas like, they're not looking at what they're making per month and, what it's going to take to get to, let's say $100,000 a year. What does that even look like over the long term? Right. In regards to all the planning and stuff and things like that, like, you got to get clear and focused on your numbers and your strategy and how you're going to get there before you can even do anything, really. And I see so often people are just like throwing shit at the wall, hoping it sticks, and, doing anything and anything and everything to, run promos, get clients and things like that, but they don't have a plan. And they don't have like a destination to where they're going. And so anyone who's watching this or who's been following us or anything like that, you should make your new plan, your new destination to make, 6 figures, 100 grand a year, or maybe even higher than that if you're already doing it, and figure out what that looks like, from a, weekly, monthly, even a daily standpoint, and what it's going to take to get there. Because I think, everyone wants to figure out the newest, latest social media strategy or how to get clients in their chair and things like that. But if you don't know how many clients you need in your chair, at what price point, and what goal you're shooting towards, it's kind of hard to figure out the rest. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I was surprised when I did a workshop, we broke it all down to how many clients you actually need as a full-time stylist. I don't have that number in front of me, but it was not large. It was not as large as I think we have to.
Yeah.
And especially if we're good at pre-booking and we do have a strong color business, because with color, when they're walking out that door, they need to see you. 6 weeks is the most they can stretch it. So they need to see you on a regular basis. 100%. So planning for that and setting that habit with the client and not letting them leave and say, oh, I'll call you when I need you. And then they have, regrowth 20 inches long, and then they become a correction. Mm-hmm. So I think just being intentional about everything, and not one of my hot buttons when I see it, when people are in victim mode, it's, oh, I was so busy and now all of a sudden I'm so slow. And it's like, did you talk to the people when they were in your chair about sending you referrals? Did you thank them and tell them how, you love having them and you want more of their friends? Did you show up at a networking event that you were invited to? People think this magic fairy wand is just they're going to get tapped on their head and they're going to get 20 new clients. It takes work, and you can't get comfortable and sit back and say, oh, I'm so busy, because unfortunately, people get sick, people die, people move, people have a daughter, a niece, a nephew, somebody graduate from beauty school that needs a new pincushion to practice on. So all those things happen, and there's natural attrition of at least 10% a year.
Yeah.
So when you start to get super cocky and comfortable and say, I'm so busy, is usually your downfall.
Yeah. Or usually it's like you may be busy, but like, are you taking home the money you want to be taking home? Right. Like everyone claims to be busy no matter how much they're making. I hear people who say they're super busy. They're making like $1,000 a month. It's like, what the hell? How do you live on that? You know?
Right.
And so like, I think it's so important that it's not about just being busy. It's about building your business with the clientele you need to build that business. Right. So I would say like, the one thing that I think we talked about this last time we did like an interview together, is like do the math and figure out, how many clients you need at what price point throughout month by month, so that you can have something you're striving towards. Because like, I found this a lot of the case too, like whenever people sometimes even use our strategies for the advertising or our organic Facebook, Instagram, networking strategies, even they'll get clients in the door, but they don't do the things you said to be able to capitalize most on those appointments that they're getting. Does that make sense? And so I think that's why it's so important to set like targets and goals before you talk about anything else, is because you don't even know where you're trying to go. You don't know your destination. I always say it like, it's like, you're putting your GPS. Yeah. So like, how am I even going to know how many clients I need, how many referrals I need, how much I need to charge, what I need to do for product, if I don't have a clear target goal that I'm shooting towards. So I think we did this like last time, but maybe we can do like the quick math breakdown of like what it looks like to do that. Anyone who's watching new, like you should be doing this right now, coming up into the new year, especially. It's because you need to know how many clients you need at what price point, and how many days a week you're going to be working to figure it all out. So what we do is like, we start with our monthly goal income, and let's just say we want to make 10 grand a month, which I think is pretty good. That's $120,000 a year. If you guys want to make $120,000 in a year, let us know in the comments. But the first thing we're going to do is take that number and then
don't forget we have commission people on here, so they have to multiply that by 2.
Right.
Make sure the commission people do that.
Hypothetically speaking, like you can go back and do this any way you want to, but you're going to start with first of all your target, like your target, right? So let's say I want to make 10 grand a month. Let's just say it doesn't have to be profit, revenue, anything like that. I'm just going to get to know the numbers, right? I can be able to work later. But 10 grand a month, that's where I'm going to start. Then I'm going to do is divide that by my price point. Okay. So what's your average ticket price, or what was it? It was like $100 or something like that you said. Is that the average? I would say that's what I've heard from most people. Is that your audience's average price point? Usually $100, you'd say?
Well, everybody's different. Mine, I booked on the hour, and mine was 100.
Okay, so let's just say 100.
Keep it easy.
Keep it easy. So I'm going to take 10,000 divided by 100. So I get 100. So in order to make 10 grand a month so far, I need 100 services provided at $100 per ticket, give or take, right? And that'll get me to my goal. And that sounds like a lot, but this is in 30 days. That's in a whole month, right? So what I'm going to do is divide that down to all the way down to the week first. So there's 4 weeks in a month, right? So I'll take 100 and divide it by 4. Now I need 25 clients at $100 per ticket per week, right? And then however many days I want to work per week is what I'll do next. I'll divide that by, let's just say I work 5 days a week. I want to have my weekends to myself. Let's just say that. Now I only need 5 clients 5 days a week at $100 per ticket, right? Now you have something you can shoot for. Now I can say, okay, now through my marketing, my advertising, through the way I'm speaking to my clients, getting referrals, I need to make sure that I'm getting 5 clients in at $100 per ticket 5 days a week, and I'm making 10 grand a month. Woohoo. That's it. Right. And so now we know a lot more clear on where the heck we're going. Does that make sense? Does that make sense for everyone who's watching too? Because the math is so important. And I always like to start with that first, because like so many times people are trying to do 100 million different things. They get shiny object syndrome going here, and they're not sticking to what really matters, which is booking those slots when it comes to the math.
Here's a question for you.
Does that say, did you say 10% a month? What in regards, what specifically?
It was 10,000. I think she said 10%.
Yeah, $10,000 a month. I think everyone can say they could enjoy making $10,000 a month, or maybe if you're already there, an extra $10,000 a month, right?
Even better.
You can play with the math as much as you want to kind of figure out what it's going to look like to build your dream business. We call that the dream life calculator. So you can build your dream life based on the numbers, not just the ideas of where it starts, right? But I'll let you take over. That's kind of like where I wanted to, get everyone started with, because with the start of the year, you got to have those targets there and keep them in front of you to know how many clients you need, because then you're going to be working harder to get them than if you're just kind of going here and there. Like, oh, some days I have 5 clients, but other days I don't really know where I'm at.
Absolutely. Consistency is everything. And I also tell people when they're doing their numbers, factor in a vacation. People always say, I can't take vacation. I can't afford to take vacation. But if you plan for it and you say, during 2020, I am taking 2 weeks off vacation. Like it is inhumane, in my opinion, to take any less than 2 weeks a year. When you think about how hard you work and how many hours and standing on your feet and all of that. And it doesn't have to be a 2-week, Mediterranean cruise, 5-star, cruising around and having butlers and everything. It can be 2 days here, 3 days here, a week here, a seminar, somewhere you're going to go to learn and tacking on a day here and there. But you have to fill yourself back up and, restore your body and your mind and, take time out to just reset all of your buttons, because that's where the burnout comes in. So don't get so lost in that number that you just keep dividing it by 52. I don't even divide it by 52. I divide it by 50. I'm like, just forget that those 2 weeks even exist, because think about it. Unfortunately, in a commission setup, as both a commission owner and as a commission stylist, 2 other weeks of your year, basically you're not earning the income because you have to make up for that 2 weeks. So basically it takes a month to earn the money to be able to go on vacation. So you really have to know those numbers and those goals, and not think about it constantly. When you have, my favorite thing to recommend to people is when you look ahead 3 days from now, like right now today, if it's December and 3 days from now you have blank space on your page, there's a problem. Yep. Most hairstylists make a third of their income between Thanksgiving and New Year. So you shouldn't have any white space right now. Yeah. And if you have white space, you need Jordan and his program. And that's why we're going to talk about that in the masterclass, because he offers you ways, and people say, I don't have money to advertise. It does not cost you money. His ideas do not cost you money. It costs you passion and time and doing the work. It's time. And right now, if you have blank space, you have more time than money. If you get to the point where you have more money than time, that's a whole different conversation. And we can guide you in that. There's different approaches to marketing. But right now, time is something you have an excess of and shouldn't. So use your time rather than your money, and then flip it when your situation changes.
100%. And that's like exactly along the lines of like what we talk about all the time, which is like, you don't need money to get clients. You don't need money to be successful. You just need to leverage the resources you have, which is usually your time. And if you don't have, any money, and you say you don't have any time either, there's a problem there. You need to just get a little bit.
Something's not right.
Something's not right with where you're putting your time in, right? So you're gonna have to shift things around. But there should never be, an issue with, I think, not having time or money. You got to have one or the other, or both, right? I did say, Iris said, I try and do the math and set small gains and goals. I think that's great. She also said, where am I and where am I going? I just saw.
And did you see what she said here? We need to give her a beating here.
Oh, we're gonna do a beat down. What'd she say?
My goals are way less.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so if you, what is your goal? Let us know what your goal is, Iris. Because the reason I say 10 grand a month is like, most people's goals are like 2 or 3 grand a month. And if you put your goal at 10 grand a month, if you even go halfway, you're still making more than if you set a goal at 2 or 3 that you maybe wouldn't even hit because it wasn't exciting enough, right? So I always say, like, set your goals like much, much higher. Like if your goal is not at 10 grand a month right now, go ahead and set it there. Like who cares? Just do the math and like figure it out. Then you work harder. And there's
also a mindset involved. Like Iris is saying, like, I don't feel like I deserve more. And that comes from our childhood.
Yeah.
It's so, I mean, my dad was such a worker, and just, we were defined by what we did, not who we were. Like, he didn't want to hear about my grades ever. He was never like, how'd you do on that test? He would say, where are you working now? What's your after school job? And I would tell him, and he would say, how many hours do you work? And I would tell him, and he'd say, well, you have another 8 hours. Where are you going to work during those hours? Like, where's your second job? So it was ingrained in me to always have a side hustle. And now when I don't, at 52 years old, if I'm not doing 14 different, sources of income, it makes me feel lazy. And it took me a long time to heal from that mentality. And he also came from a depression mentality. His family lived through the depression, and his dad, saved every potato. They had to like ration out their food. And my dad's now a millionaire, and he can't lose that mindset. He cannot let go of, it's not enough. I'm not going to have enough. I can't spend it. So he never enjoyed his wealth. He worked his butt off his whole life and never enjoyed it. And I'm trying to have a happy medium. I'm trying to be driven the way I've always been, because that's comfortable, but not be so driven that when my kids are with me, I'm doing this and I'm on my phone and checking messages. Like, I have to be really mindful of being flat out all the time and putting my business before my kids and the people that are in my present company. It's hard to not be distracted.
Well, I think like a lot of people need to understand too that, like, in order to take care of others and be present for others and be able to give back to the people you love most, like, you need to take care of yourself first, right? And like that usually comes down to like, am I making money to be financially secure and confident and happy? Or am I constantly struggling, penny pinching, wondering where my next paycheck's going to come from, and living in scarcity and, living in misery almost, right? And that's why the biggest thing I see in this industry too is like all of the false beliefs of the other people in the industry too, because it's very common. People don't realize what they're possible and capable of doing in this industry. It's in a lot of other industries too, but this one most specifically, everyone's working next to each other. It creates that environment of just settling for average and settling for mediocrity or even below mediocrity and below average. And that's like not okay, right? Like you need to, tone things up a little bit, kick things up a notch and set higher goals, set bigger goals for yourself. What do you want in this life? What do you want for your kids' life? What do you want, for your family life? Like, think of those things, because that's what makes you do the work that's required to get it done. I will say, like, the number one reason like I work so hard and I, am on live and doing all this stuff is not because I love being live and not because I love, I love helping others. That's one thing I'm passionate about. But the things that, you and I are doing that aren't necessarily the most fun to do or aren't necessarily the most like exciting things to do. We do it because it's going to get us closer to our outcome, which is being able to help ourselves and be able to help other people too. So, for me, my big like reason why, and the reason I work so hard is because of my grandparents were actually the one who lit the fire under my butt. I saw during college, which is when Katie and I started our business, that they were really struggling financially, really struggling with medical bills and, just struggling. All of that was affecting their mindset. And, they were really turning into negative people and weren't happy at all. And I wanted to be able to help them, but I couldn't help them because I couldn't help myself first. Right. And so like for me, I kind of felt almost helpless in that aspect to be able to serve or help them at all. When I was actually at that point in my life asking them for help, and they couldn't help me because they couldn't help themselves either. Does that make sense? And so I lit this fire under my butt to be able to help myself so I could help them. And, we're now taking care of them and paying a lot of their bills, getting them moved out to a better location to get better health care and things like that. And like, those are the reasons why you need to work hard, so you can take care of the people you love most. Right. And so that's why you need to, set those higher goals and set those, big numbers so that you can be able to help the people that mean the most to you. Or God forbid something bad happens. What if you got in a bad car accident or family member got in a bad car accident? You couldn't help them because you didn't have any money. Right.
I think that's a big thing too. I think that as stylists, it's such a physical job that we assume that we're always going to be able to do the physical work. And, one weekend ski trip gone wrong can put us on our ass for a couple months with an injury. And do you have Aflac insurance? That's something that early in my career, I didn't even know that was something I could do. So later into my career, I got it for myself as well as offered it to my staff so they would have short-term disability. But do you have that? Are you prepared for if something bad happens? You see all these GoFundMe things floating around for, a hairstylist that, her salon might have caught on fire or some awful tragedy, but they weren't prepared for that emergency fund. So I think that we get caught up in the survival mode. And we also have this way of blaming, it's the blame game. It's I'm not successful because my owner this. I'm not successful because my husband this. I'm not successful because my kids that. And for me, like I've seen that pattern so many different times in so many different faces and names. And I was like pretty much a hard ass as an owner. I would just say, are you kidding me? Like, that's the story you're telling yourself. Whatever you tell yourself to be true is going to be true because the only person that can change it is you. Right. So if you're the one getting in your own way, I can't help you. Jordan can't help you. We can only help ourselves. And our world is as big as we see it. So if you see your world, I had clients that would say, I've never been outside of the state that I live in. I've been, I grew up in Pennsylvania, and my client said, I've only been to Pennsylvania and New Jersey because my husband won't fly. And I said, well, what about you? Mm-hmm. Well, what do you mean? I can't go without my husband. I'm like, why not? If my husband didn't fly, he would be a very lonely person stuck home alone because I would be seeing the world without him. Like, and that doesn't mean I don't love my husband. But what does him not wanting to fly have to do with me going to Australia or Bali or anywhere that I want to go? Yeah. So I think we get caught up in this like connected, we're only allowed to do as well as the person that works next to us. We're not, oh my gosh, we can't possibly be more successful than our boss. Right. What will she think if let me tell you something. There was a lot of years that my staff had a bigger paycheck than I did because anybody on here that's an owner knows everything you do behind the chair gets funneled back into the business to pay for everything so that everyone else can make a great living, which is why I no longer run my salon. I was like, so many years I would look at the W-2s and I'm like, wow, I want to be them. I want to be my employee because they have a beautiful place to work with all the best toys and all the best products and all the best of everything. And I'm stressing from one bill to the next because I want to make sure everything is good for them. And I pride myself in 30 years of owning a business. I never could not pay my staff member. I never had a paycheck bounce. I mean, I hear stories on these forums about owners that, man, I don't know how they stay in business. They're interesting characters. And there's a lot of weird, shady shit going on as far as like pay structure. And, there's a lot of lines being blurred with rental and commission and owners that are trying to have a hybrid of both, which is completely against the law. And that's a whole other subject. But I just sit back and I'm like, God, I can see it so clearly now as I'm stepped away from it of all the things that I always say, if people would just let me in their salon for a half a day, just observing like an innocent, quiet bystander, I could tell them exactly, kind of like that Tabitha show, like they're wasting color. They're not measuring on a scale. Your dress code is an abomination. They all look like they're going to go rock a pole in an hour. They're wearing like belly tops and flip flops and their hair's not done. Their makeup's not done. Like it's such a total brand package and you can't skip any of the steps and hit that 6-figure level. In my opinion, I think you can maybe get there once, but you're not going to sustain that level of income unless you up your game and stay consistent in that world.
Yeah, 100%. Stay consistent with, what you're going towards, what you're moving towards, what you're doing, that's getting you closer to your goal, and keep doing the things that are going to allow you to get more clients more frequently, retain those clients, get referrals out of those clients, and, overall just build your business, right? So many times people just focus on all the wrong things. And like you said, sometimes it just takes a fly on the wall to see like, this is going wrong here. You should be doing this. Like, it's really simple to get clients and grow a business. Like it's really not that difficult. It just all revolves around talking to people, booking appointments and doing appointments really. Right. And working on the inside structure as you go. That's really it.
Absolutely. Well, I find myself, I'm going to have a very, very empty funeral. I'm going to be able to have my funeral in like a 1-pew church because I'm so aggravated with people's excuses now. Like the older that I get and the more clarity that I have. And you and I both like a lot of the same people, and we listen to our podcast and we get, all pumped up when we hear like, you can do it. And it's all mindset. And it really is. Mm-hmm. Like when you're young, when I was in my 20s, I was like, yeah, Tony Robbins, you're a bazillionaire. Of course you're telling us it's great. Right. But that didn't happen overnight. He was piss poor, had no money. Like when you know his story and you understand that the mindset is everything, when people bubble, they regurgitate their excuses. I have zero tolerance for it. Like a friend just came to visit me and the can'ts were flying like crazy. I'm a should'er. She was a can't. I'm like, you should this, you should that. She's like, I can't. I'm like, no, you can. Like every single thing that you just said to me, you are choosing not to. That is, I won't. I'll still be your friend if you replace that can't with I won't, then I have respect for you. But when you say I can't, that's you hiding behind that victim mentality of everything's happening to you and has nothing to do with you. And I call bullshit on that. And I will all day, every day. So I have to really behave myself at family parties over Christmas because it happens constantly with family members. Oh, well, you were able to do that because you blah, 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 blah. Like there's like an extenuating circumstance of why I was able to do it. And I'm like, no, it was just as terrifying for me. It's just the difference is I did it. Yeah. And I see that it was a good thing and you're not even trying. Try and fail, but don't not try.
Do something about it. I would say like, if you're looking to shift the mindset and get a little bit more motivated or even start gaining some confidence, I think like the first thing you've got to do is look at your environment now. Like who are you spending time with? Who's around you? Who you hanging out with? Who you seeing on a daily basis? Because you may need to nip some of those bad influences in your life so that you can move ahead and move forward. And that's okay, right? Like stop making excuses for yourself just because everyone else is making excuses because they've already given up and they're just justifying why they're at where they're at. Whereas if you want to make a change and difference, you can do it. Anyone who's watching this now, anyone, in our whole community, anyone in the world can do whatever the heck they set their mind to. That's just whether they're willing to put in the work and get through, the rejection, the hard things that are going to happen along the way. Right. So the first thing I would say is look at your environment, get on a better, habit, routine, ritual schedule of some sort and add time for things like personal development, whether it be through podcasts, audiobooks, actually reading books, whichever stimulates your brain the best. It's so easy to find information nowadays and get motivation and gain confidence. It's so easy nowadays. So why aren't you doing it? Right. Add those things into your day. And then from there, just start, taking it one day at a time, just moving towards those goals, figuring out what you need to do by educating yourself from someone who's already doing it. That's easily how you get out of a bad situation into a good one is environment, structure, routine, and ritual, and then just taking action on steps that are already laid out for you. All the information's out there. Even all of our free trainings and our free groups and through our, podcast videos that we do, we give away all the information for free. But sometimes people just need that extra hand-holding, that extra support, and that extra roadmap to getting there themselves too. But at the end of the day, if you're not looking for the help, you're not willing to do what it takes, then that shit's going to matter, So it's all.
And be careful who you look up to, a lot of people are perfectly comfortable following in the footsteps of someone who's not successful, and it's to your point, the 5 people you surround yourself with are going to predict your level of success. If you're the smartest person in every room that you're in, you need to get into another room because you're getting in that comfortable place of you're the best, you're the most successful. Well, there's a lot of other rooms that you didn't even walk into. I just went to 2 back-to-back events for online course creators. And when I first got there, I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be so intimidating. They're going to be so much further ahead of me. And I'm looking to my right and I'm looking to my left. And I'm like, they didn't even start writing their course yet. So I was thinking I was going to be behind and I ended up being ahead of probably 60% of the room, but then there was 40% of the room that is doing $1 million years. So there's always another level and something to aspire to. And it's they're the people that I want to spend my time with because they were where I am and now they're not. So they're not sitting saying, oh, the market's overcrowded. There's all these people doing it. I mean, how many people are doing what you and I are doing? Everybody's jumping on the podcast bandwagon, jumping on the Facebook Lives, doing courses, but we're staying in our lane and we're doing what we do best. And you have to just keep going like this. And when I saw you, I had told you before when we chatted live that, you know, my husband is like my silent observer. He's usually in the background, giving me the hook when I talk too long and sending me texts going, wrap it up. But he heard you and I talking, and he came in the room after we hung up and he's like, that dude knows what he's talking about. And it takes a lot to get a compliment out of my husband, but he, from being around me and listening to this whole online space, and for, you know, working alongside of me in the salon space and seeing all of the people that sat in their crap of, you know, I'm waiting for somebody to make me successful, he gets the difference. So he was like, oh, he really knows what he's talking about. He has a lot of good ideas. So I was like, okay, we have to collaborate together, because like I said, I touch on marketing in my program, marketing that worked for me, that was from the old school way of organic traffic, you know, asking for referrals, doing referral contests. That's no longer enough. So there's a whole other level of marketing that you bring to the table. And then when you showed me your back end of all the things that you do for these salons, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even go near doing that. Like at first I was like, let me make sure that we're not clashing with each other and doing the same thing, but we are so not doing the same thing. And both are really, really necessary. You know, like I said earlier, if you can't properly formulate and do a color service, Jordan can put all the butts in your chairs as he possibly can. And if you screw up their color, they're not coming back. So now you have a steady, you have a steady stream of people. But I always use the example of a boat with a hole in it. You know, you keep bailing the water out of it and you're like, oh, but I'm doing so great. And you're bailing and bailing and bailing. And it's like, if you keep having new people, if you always have room for 20 new guests, something's wrong. Check on your retention numbers and nurture those people that you've already done, and stop looking to the next new person. There's this bad habit that as salon professionals we get into where, and I was guilty of it too. If I rarely had a new client on the book because I was doing it for 33 years. So if I'm not booked by then, shame on me. So I had a lot of repeat clients. But every once in a while, somebody would beg to come in for a corrective service, and I would fall for it and have them come in on a day that I was off for the challenge. And when I was doing it, I thought, you know, the morning of, I'm wearing my favorite shirt that I feel like I look better in, and I'm making sure that my hair looks extra good and it's clean and my makeup's on point. And it's kind of like a first date. So we behave differently when we have a new client, and then we wonder why we lose existing clients. The existing client, you have a tuna hoagie for lunch and you're breathing onions all over your client, Betty, because she's been coming to you for 10 years. And you're like, oh, Betty doesn't care. I'll just tell her, you know, oh, sorry, I had tuna. No, don't be sorry. Don't have the damn tuna with onions. Like treat Betty better even than the new client, because Betty's been paying your mortgage for 10 years.
Right.
So I think we have it twisted. I think we tend to like coddle and feel special the new people, or we end up doing a Groupon type service, and then we treat the Groupon people like crap from the minute they walk in the door. We treat them like they have a coupon slapped on their forehead. It's like, oh crap, here comes Cheapy. She's not going to tip. She's not coming back. We have the story in our head that she's not coming back. And when I tell you, my most loyal clients in the 30 years that I was behind the chair got a free service as their first service. They got a welcome to the community. We're the salon for you. Come see us free. They sat in the chair and had a service. We treated them like a 5-star client, and they're still coming 30 years later, you know? So don't treat them like a coupon person, or you're going to die on don't even do it. Don't even do the promotion if you're not going to treat them like they're spending $1,000.
Exactly. That's why, like, you know, any attraction method you do, like, just like you said, like, no matter if we're doing an offer or a special or something like that, like, your whole goal is to just get that person in the door so you can provide amazing quality service so that you get the chance to turn them into a lifetime client, right? Like, that's how businesses are built, is turning, you know, we call like a first one-timer is a customer, but a lifetimer is a client, right? And so that's what I create is clients. Like build your book of clients, and don't just look at the one-off services and things like that. Like treat everyone who comes into your chair to the highest level of service that you can provide, and then always make sure that you're, you know, giving them opportunity to come back and achieve that same level of service. Because if you don't, you're doing them a disservice, and they're not going to continue to get that level of quality unless you push yourself asking for it, right? But yeah, like everything you just said, I 100% agree with, and I'm looking forward to, you know, being able to help and serve and better this industry as much as we can. I think it's a pretty broken industry in the way that everyone out there who is, you know, doing similar stuff like us is putting information out there that, you know, is just general information rather than like clear structure and this is what you should do because this is what's working. And you know, people talk about social media strategies all day long, but that's really not the secret. Is not knowing what social media it is and how to use it. The secret is knowing what you need to do for your business to get the clients that you need. That's going to allow you to build the business that you want and live the life you want to live. Right. At the end of the day, like that's our mission. That's what we want to do is help, you know, people get those clients, build that business, and also be able to consistently take it to where they want it to go, you know, because anyone can make a lot of money. Anyone can get a lot of clients, but if you get the wrong types of clients, you're quickly going to be miserable. If you're getting a bunch of clients that you're not charging enough and you're working your ass off, not making enough money, you're going to end up being miserable. So it's all about creating that perfect balance for you. And I think that's what you and I are going to probably focus on the most together is how to do that all behind the chair, doing hair, right?
I love to your advice to people to stop quoting. Like people have gotten into the habit of running their business from, where's my camera, from their cell phone and crossing all kinds of boundaries, clients texting them at 10:30 at night, and then they're complaining about it, but they've set it up that way. Oh, text me for an appointment, you know? So I think starting out from the beginning with clear boundaries, or have a separate phone number that's just for your business, like do something, but don't let that boundary be crossed because you're going to be pissed off all the time. But I watched one of your lives and I love how you said, you know, don't quote them in a messenger message. Don't quote them over the phone, invite them in. The goal is get them in the space.
Yeah.
They've driven there. They know where it is. They're comfortable. They see the environment. Then they're going to know whether or not they want to have their hair done there, rather than take up the time for a full, you know, appointment for a consultation where, you know, you don't know whether they're going to come back or like the relationship starts from the very first contact, the first point of contact. So for me, texting somebody and starting it right off the bat with that impersonal texting, you're already not setting yourself up for a high value experience. So It starts from the very first point of contact.
You just need to get in front of more people is the bottom line, right? No one cares how many people are liking, commenting, message you on Facebook unless you're getting in front of them. Like you can have 100 messages in your inbox, but that doesn't mean any money in your pocket. It's extracting those people who showed interest and getting in front of them. That's it.
One of my biggest frustrations, and I'm sure it's yours as well because of what you do, is when people say, but I advertise on Facebook and Instagram and I'm not getting anybody. And I say, show me your ad. Yeah. And it's a picture of a logo that looks like it's something out of 1970. And it's just a post of the logo. That's it. And that's advertising. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm pretty picky with my hair, and there's nothing about that picture of your logo that's making me want to ring you up and make an appointment ASAP. Like, what about that logo is telling me to leave my existing person and come to you? So it's something as simple as jumping on your phone and doing a quick, you know, tour of the salon. Like, hey, it's Elaine here at, you know, Lux Color Lounge. I want you to check out the salon and look at Vicky having, you know, a root smudge and a balayage, like something interesting. Nobody wants to look at your logo. And then Facebook ads, when they say, oh, I do Facebook ads and I've spent money and nobody comes, and they consider a Facebook ad a post boost. And the post is that typical picture of the back of someone's head of one person's hair that they're proud of that they did. And it may be, you know, bra strap length, really, really blonde hair. And I may be a brunette that wants gray coverage. So if I'm scrolling and I see that back of the head picture, I'm going to keep on scrolling. But if you were on a video saying, are you tired of dealing with resistant gray hair. I hear that all the time. And we have a special process that we at Luxe Color Lounge use that's going to cover every one of those stubborn grays. Come see us for your free consultation. Like, do a call to action. I mean, even if you're not paying for an ad, like, ask them to do something. Visit, click, make an appointment, do something, not just here's my back of the head picture. So that makes me crazy. And people that are penny wise, pound foolish, if I didn't pay for a program to learn how to create an online course, I would not be selling an online course or doing this for a living. I had to put out a crazy amount of money for a course. But the course walked me through step 1, get a certain kind of microphone. Step 2, get this site, that site, do this, set that up. You need that. So people say, well, I don't have the money. And I'm like, but you don't have the money now. Because you don't have the clients because you didn't buy the course to teach you how to do it. So it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And what excuse are you going to go to your grave with of why it didn't work out? That you didn't have the money, or you didn't have the money because you didn't spend the money to be able to make the money.
100%. And like, I would say, like, perfect example too is like, if you're stuck right now, you don't know what the heck you're doing. Like, the easiest, fastest way you're going to move forward is to learn from someone who's already achieving success, or who knows how to get the success. And like, whether that be purchasing coaching program, online course, that's the fastest way you're going to get a result. So like, even though you may not have the money or the time or whatever excuse you're telling yourself, you have all those things. You're just making an excuse for why it's not going to work and not wanting to get uncomfortable to move forward. But that's the way you're going to get the fastest result 100%. is by following the process that already works, right? Like, if you try to figure it out all on your own, half the time, like, you'll just be hoping that something's going to work. Again, throwing shit at the wall till it sticks, right? But when it comes to, your ads and things like that, like, to give you guys some value and some structure of what that looks like, because I did just see a comment. Can you give a quick example of what a great ad looks like from Jessica? You want to have something that's going to attract people, attract your ideal clients, better yet. And we always call it like the first piece of making your ad work is having something that's sexy, which means like it's going to grab my attention when I'm scrolling through my feed, and that actually makes me stop. It needs to be eye-catching, so the image needs to be something that's going to appeal to your ideal clients. So some of the times, like, a back of the head photo may be okay if you're doing like cuts and colors at the salon and things like that, but it better be a good, attractive one, something that I would want to achieve, right? So you want to have something in your ad that's going to have a, like, the picture itself should be, generally something that your ideal client would want to achieve as an end result. Like, what do they actually want is what you should be putting there, right? And then as well, you want to make sure that you have some sort of offer, something that we call as like habit breaking, that is not something they could go down the street to get, or that they could get going to the current place they go to get this done. A habit breaking offer is something that's going to make them snap and come to you versus competition down the street. We call that our in the door offer, right? And so what works best for us is usually something like a 50% off cut and color new client offer. And instead of just slashing our prices in half, we stack the value of what goes into our appointments and add that extra value, with the styling consultation, the color work with our expert stylist, you'll get a relaxing head massage, things like that. Stacking that value allows you to discount based on value, not price. So that's how we run, our ads, is make sure that we speak to our audience, speak to the pain points that they're struggling with, make sure we put a sexy, eye-catching image in front of them that is what is going to attract their outcome of what they're looking to get. It could be video too, like you said, right? And then also making sure that you always, always, always have an offer and a call to action. Not just, hey, here's my logo, here's my business, come on in. Doesn't work, right? Ever. Don't ever do that.
Right. And what we have had a lot of success with is catchy names for things. Like, we came up with this service probably, God, I want to say it's at least 15, 16 years ago. Some hairstylist was putting some sort of product that put clear shine on top of people's color, and he applied it with a flat iron. So it like pulled it through the hair, made it super shiny. So I went down a million rabbit holes. I went to his salon to have the service done, and I'm snooping around looking to see what the heck he's using, figured everything out, ordered the product, and I forget what he was calling it, but it wasn't anything exciting. Mm-hmm. So we took on the product, created this whole service, and we named it Thermashine, THERMASHINE. And we're like, come have a Thermashine service done. It seals your color and da-da-da. We charged $50 for this treatment. The actual product cost us about $5 at the most, and just a flat iron. And we did them nonstop, day in, day out. Everybody loved it. Their hair was super shiny and amazing. But it was just that we named it something. Like right now, something as simple as a Malibu treatment. We're coming off of summer. Everybody's hair is trash from vacation. They have chlorine buildup, product buildup, salt water, all those things. And their hair feels crunchy and weird. And just saying to them, this is the perfect, well, not now, it's Christmas, but in October and November, this is the perfect time of year. Let's do a detox of your hair. Use that line.
I'm hearing how I could build a perfect ad from this. So tell me, what's the name of it?
We called it the Luxe Detox treatment, but it was a Malibu treatment. So instead of saying, come get a Malibu treatment, clients don't know what Malibu is. And you don't want them to know what it is, because then they can just buy it on Amazon and do it themselves.
Okay. And
so just changing the name.
Where's the city located to?
Pennsylvania.
So Pennsylvania. And then what would make people want to get this Luxe Detox? What are they struggling with? You said like crinkly hair, something like
build up. Like I think we said is your hair feeling blah? Is it no longer holding a curl? Does your color look dull? All those like pain points. And then we said, come have a Luxe Detox. And everybody wanted a Luxe Detox. It was $1.35, I think, for the packet of Malibu. And it really does. It's not a placebo. Like Malibu treatments really do make the hair feel amazing. So they felt the difference. It wasn't like we were selling them snake oil and, just like a vitamin C pill that didn't do anything. It was actually doing something, but just creating a name around it and fluffing it up, to your point, of those packages. Because then we would do a paid Facebook ad and say, come get detoxed. And it was, detox treatment, scalp massage, shoulder massage, hot oil. Like we fluffed it all up. And then it was basically a haircut and style, but it sounded like a day at the spa. And it was maybe 15 minutes more than just a haircut. So like, be different. Don't just keep doing haircut and blow dry, haircut and curls, haircut and blow dry, men's cut, kids cut, And
you say fluff, like it may be like we're inflating something too. But here's the thing, guys, like you're doing all this work that you're not even telling people about. And like You're not looking for it. You're doing it anyway. So why not express that, right? So I was just taking some notes while you're doing that, because I just got the idea of what I would run for this type of ad too. It'd be like, hey, Pennsylvania ladies, are you struggling with the buildup, boring blah in your hair, whatever hair, you're not holding a curl in your hair, blah, 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 question mark, name something that they're struggling with, or a pain point or a struggle, something right off the bat. And then I would say, for a limited time, we're offering this special offer, which maybe is like, 50% off your first Luxe Detox at our salon or something like that. And here's what you're going to get with that. And then I would literally write out like everything you just said, like what happens from every moment they come into the chair from the moment they leave, so that they can see exactly what they're getting in this advertisement, and then give them the call to action to claim your, X% off or claim your appointment. Go ahead and click the button on this page, fill out your information, and we'll get back to you ASAP, or whatever your call to action may be. Like that's how I would literally write that ad really quick. And then I put a picture, a video of what, for videos, I would do a demo of exactly what we'd be doing throughout the treatment. And if it was just a picture, I would have like Elaine, I would be like, work on that girl's hair like you're doing the treatment, and just take a picture of it. And I would just put it up there. The more organic, the better. And
I think I'm so glad you said that, because I think I always go by the done is better than perfect. People overthink that they need a professional videographer to come and videotape the service, like literally with your phone, because people want to see real. The scripted and the perfectly polished and curated sites, unless you're a Kardashian, it's no longer necessary. People know that that's not your real life, and they see right through it. I have had so many examples of when Instagram and real life did not match up. Recently, here in St. Pete Beach, I'm scrolling Instagram and this little store that does zero business. It's a little boutique. It's adorable. And I keep wanting to give them money. I'm like, I want to shop small. I want to shop local. I want to give them my money. So I'm like, I'm scrolling and they have these awesome Christmas decorations on their Instagram. And it was this perfectly curated Instagram post about the holidays and shop local. And I was like, you know what? I said to my husband, I'm going there right now and I'm buying all my presents there. So I walk in fully prepared to spend a lot of money and I'm looking around the store and I don't see a single thing that I saw on the Instagram post. And the girl's at the desk and she's like, can I help you? And I said, yeah. And I pulled up the actual post and I said, I'm here for this. And she goes, oh, that's our tree. That's just our decoration. Those aren't for sale. So I was like, oh, I wanted this. And she's like, oh, they're at Michael's. Like she tells me, you know, she's sending me out of her store to go spend money at Michael's. So I was like, okay. And then an ice cream store here had the most curated, amazing Facebook page, Instagram pages. I'm like, I cannot wait to go there. I walked in and I was like, do I have the right place? Like it was so disappointing that I didn't even order ice cream. And I love ice cream. I left. I was like, talk about bait and switch. So like, don't be so worried about it looking perfect because when the client gets there, they're going to see what it really looks like. I mean, I've been to hotels, Airbnbs, bed and breakfast where like the brochure, you know, the online presence, you're like, oh my gosh, I picture myself on that porch swing, sipping a cappuccino. I get there, we're on a freaking highway in New Jersey with like cars buzzing by doing 100 miles an hour with all exhaust. And I was like, that was the picture from the website. So be true to your actual brand. I mean, we're talking about fluffing it up as far as like the wording and all that, but be who you say you're going to be and don't bait and switch because that's upsetting.
Setting the right expectation all along. Like everything that you do through your marketing should be, you know, setting an expectation of either one, what it's like to work with you or the expectation of the end desired result of what they're actually getting. Right. And if you're ever, you know, not ethical about that, that's how you put bad taste in people's mouths. Right. So like anything that, you know, you do put out there, make sure that it does put out the right expectation and what people are getting. And, you know, even though we say fluff, it's not really fluff. It's literally, what are you actually doing with your clients and things like that you're sharing with them. Right.
And also something that fires me up too is someone will take what you and I are saying and they'll do this whole package and they'll sell it. And then the client will come and they'll say, well, that's not included in the thing. That's an extra this, that's an extra that. Like, just suck it the hell up the first time. You know what I mean? If they want a couple curls and curls are extra, just suck it up on that visit because that's going to turn that person off.
Just charge more.
But I don't think you should on that first visit. You know what I mean? I think charge more for the package and include it. But there's nothing worse than like, oh, you know, come and get this, you know, $90 whatever. And then you leave and your bill's $200. You just are pissed off. You're like, I came here for the 90. I didn't come here for the 200. So
that's what I meant is like, you know, stack the value and, you know, charge according to everything that you're offering. And that's 100% ethical. And then like, if people don't want pieces of it, you can tell them, okay, well, that's not included, like, or that's included in the offer. If you do or don't want that, we can take it out. You can kind of use that leverage too, right? So that's what I would recommend as far as like creating that in the door offer is you want to give as much value as you possibly can, but you also want to make sure you're being profitable. Because if you can, you know, make yourself as profitable as possible with that first amazing client experience and get them coming back for the long term, that's good. It's going to build your business to the best point it can be, right?
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the masterclass. Across the bottom of the screen, we're all high tech now. We have a ticker. This is brand new today. Cool. So it's saying, join us for our masterclass January 8th. So Jordan and I are offering an absolutely free class. We're going to be doing it on Zoom. So you do need to register. As soon as we hang up from this call, I'm going to put the link in the title of this chat. Feel free to share it with friends. You just have to click on it, register. It's 100% free. It is Wednesday, January 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Jordan, talk about what you're going to go over in the class.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about first and foremost, like I wanted you guys to set good, strong goals, expectations, targets, and things like that. So I'm going to show you what the best process to doing that is, so we can actually hopefully get you guys on this masterclass setting bigger and better goals. But then as far as the marketing goes, I'm going to show you guys how to get butts in your seats. We actually have our proprietary butts and seats system, which I'm going to be walking through with you. There's two pieces of it. There's one, an organic side, and then there's also a paid advertising side. So you're going to get to see exactly how we're attracting up to 40. We had a girl book 41 appointments last month in her business by duplicating both of the methods. And you'll get to see how we're doing it without spending a penny on advertising. And then also what we're going to do to take those clients that we're earning without spending the money and investing the profits into our ads, so that it never costs us any money to start growing our advertising or client attraction system. And I will say, like, this system, like when it's put in place, our goal is to get you 5 to 10 new clients every single week. But we've had people do much, much more than that. We've had like literally people come in and book $50,000 within a few months of not even advertising. And so this stuff works. It's ways to get out in your local community, both online and offline, but also figure out how you can get advertisements running for you even when you're not there, and get people calling you, reaching out to you, and also a big ol' email and phone list that you can have as an asset to your business over the long term as well. So there's just to throw a couple things we're going to be talking about. I'm going to basically share my screen when we're there and show you guys all behind the scenes of what's going on.
I'm excited. Those are some pretty impressive numbers. So you just took away every possible excuse that anyone showing up for masterclass can have. If you say, I don't have the money, then that means you have the time. And if you don't have the time, then that means you have the money. So he's giving you an answer for both. So anyone who's in victim mentality and I can't, don't come, because we're here to make change and be a little tough on you and push you outside of your comfort zone. And if you're, that person who's stuck in your excuses and you have no intentions of doing any of the work, then don't waste an hour on Wednesday night, watch your Netflix and eat your chips in front of the TV and just keep sitting in your excuses. Because we are action takers, and we are coaches that look for action takers to be in our tribe. So that's why we're spending this time with all of you. And I love what Jordan is doing. You guys who follow me on my coffee chats, I'm all about the hair color side. So I'll be doing a little bit of some coaching in this masterclass as well. But I really want to give the floor to Jordan, because I think that especially January is a quiet month. So this is the perfect time for you guys to take some of these ideas and implement them. And then once you get the butts in your chair, then I come in to help you keep them there and up level your color skills to a more, advanced couture level and keep them coming back for more. So we are like the 1-2 combination for 2020 that you can't live without, if I do say so myself.
That's right. Can we drop the link now so everyone can see, or do you want to?
I have to. Let me see if I can get out of here without messing everything up. I have it on a sticky.
So it's gonna be on January 8th, and then also, like, if anyone wants to join our group and stuff as well, you can see all the past interviews that we've done with Elaine, where we dropped some bombs. We had a girl literally come on our last interview and raise her prices on the interview after giving us a couple excuses, which Layla here.
We called her out right away.
Yeah. So, we're just here to help you guys, and, we want to give you guys as much value as we possibly can. I see Elaine just dropped that link below. So make sure you go check it out. Where you can register for our class that we're going to be doing together, 100% free for you guys. And I'm going to be pulling back the curtain, showing you guys what we're doing to get our clients amazing results. I was just checking our mastermind group today. Literally, this just popped up 1 hour ago. Someone just used one of our scripts for offline methods and got 3 appointments booked for next week. So
that's amazing.
The stuff works. And, with Elaine and I sharing it all with you and showing you, what to do when you get those, contacts, and when you get the clients in your chair as well. I think it's going to be, like she said, the double whammy. So Layla's here. She says, hey, she's here. And she said she just had a $300 ticket from this.
Yay! That's awesome.
Prices, and you're getting clients at that higher price point more than you were before because of what y'all said. That's amazing, Layla. Thank you for sharing.
Look how gorgeous she is too. Dear God, that has to be helpful, right?
I love it. But that just goes to show it, like, it's all you, right? Like, Layla, we encourage you to do something that you did yourself. We didn't do it for you. Like, you did it, right? So round of applause for Layla for raising her prices and getting clients for it. So good job. I'm super happy. If you guys want that extra help too, make sure you come to our masterclass January 8th. If you just drop the link, what is it? Hair color simplified. I guess just click the link, right?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do a bit.ly and make it a little shorter, but I was running late even getting that page done. So I want to make sure that we can have everybody signed up and keep track of everybody. So you get the Zoom link. You just want to show up live. You're just going to click on it. If you've never used Zoom before, make sure that whatever page you're joining from, whether it be, I'm sorry, not page, whatever device, whether it be your phone or your computer, that you download Zoom ahead of time. That's helpful. And that you should just be able to click on it and jump right in, and you'll see Jordan's going to be able to share his screen with you and show slides and examples. And please feel free. There's people who aren't on this page right now hearing about this. So share with them the opportunity to join this masterclass, share with your coworkers and friends, and hopefully we'll have a great group of people.
Yeah, so just to do it, you just click the link. I'm doing it myself so I can show them how it's done. You'll see this page here. And then it looks like you just click this. Elaine put this all together, so this looks good. And then you just enter your information. You'll get notifications, reminders, all that fun stuff, right?
Yep.
Cool. So go do it. Put in your details. Show up to the masterclass. We'll be dropping some bombs.
Does anybody have any other questions before we go? I don't like to keep Jordan too long. He's a busy, busy man. It looks like everybody just had comments. I don't see any actual
last questions, comments.
Questions? Anyone?
Sure.
Give it a minute. Let me look on we might be on a little delay.
Yeah, let us know.
That's good. It's going to build your business to the best point to be.
Questions?
Go click that link. Register for the class. That's where we can really provide the value, is when we're all there on the Zoom call.
Leslie wants to know, what is Jordan's information on Facebook and IG?
Yeah, so Leslie, you can find us in our free Facebook group, Salon and Beauty Pro Marketing Education. That's our Facebook group. You can also find me on my personal page, which is just Jordan Key, which I'll just say hi. There's my profile right there. And then as well, you can check us out at realbeautybosses.com. And if you want to schedule some time to chat with us, get an immediate result, you can go to realbeautybosses.com/book. And we can get in touch with you, give you any resources we can, and help get you guys rocking and rolling.
Layla says, what color line do you use? I am no longer in the salon, Layla, and I am what is known in the industry as a cherry picker. So I am completely independent. I don't work for any color manufacturer, and I pride myself on being able to use anyone's color because I understand the fundamentals of hair color and how it all works. So every hair color has its pluses and minuses. Not any one line can do everything, in my opinion. Well, certain lines are better for reds, certain better for blondes, certain better for brunettes, gray coverage, all that. But I think if you understand formulation and the basic fundamental principles that do not change across the board, that can make all the difference. So if I have time in this class, I'd like to share my top. I'll probably only have time for the top 5 myths that we were taught in school that we continue to use that are holding us back as colorists. So I'll pick the 5 most important ones because it's usually like a 90-minute class on its own. So I don't know if you guys want to spend 3 hours with us. Kevin Murphy. I've been hearing good things about Kevin Murphy. So let me know what you think about that. I haven't tried it. The only thing that, do they have a dedicated Demi, or are they one of the companies that says use this special developer and turn permanent into Demi? Because that's something I have an issue with if that's the deal with them, but I'm not sure. But other than that, I've heard good things. And I think that they took PPD out of their color, which is good. And important with all that's going on with, I'm sure everybody's seen the whole scare tactic of we're giving everybody cancer, and it's so taken out of context. We have to be armed and ready for our clients to have a rebuttal. And when they start to ask about, can I bring my hair color from Whole Foods because it's organic? Don't get me started. There's no such thing as organic hair color. So Layla says they don't have ammonia, but if they cover gray and it lifts, They probably use an ammonia substitute, like an MMA. So it basically is ammonia. So that's a whole other class. All right, Jordan. Well, this has been fun. So make sure you post the link on all your pages. I can never find you. You have so many damn pages. And I'm excited for January 8th. And hope that you guys will take full advantage of having the dynamic duo at your disposal. And we're going to be making an offer on the masterclass that is like the best offer you'll ever see in 2020. It's an amazing collaboration for the two of us to give you everything, every tool that you need to be successful behind the chair. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Jordan, for sharing. And we'll see everybody on the 8th.
We'll see you guys there. I'll be looking out. PM me if you got any questions, comments, concerns too. But we'll be sharing this on our page and ready to rock and roll on January 8th.
Thank you. See you later.